find this humorous, but I perform this interpretive dance on behalf of imprisoned individuals everywhere, be they in East Timor, or Siberia, or the United States, the world's most successful, repressive police apparatus with the world's largest per capita prison population. Because I am the wrong hero. And now, I resume my interpretive dance.
Very nice.
I'm the wrong hero, and my first and only commandment is send money. And that, in fact, is the title of today's piece. Send money. You may be sad. What are you going through? Are you sad? You may be sad, but I can cure that with the liberating power of laughter. Send me your money, and I will make you laugh at how foolishly I squander it. Actually, the wrong hero has no ulterior motive except to prove how wrong he can be. Because the wrong hero is wrong 110% of the time. In fact, all statistics are wrong, including this one. There was a 90% chance that I would clear that monitor. So if I do this 100 times during the course of the show, I will fall ass over tea kettle, to use a colloquial American phrase which dates back from the 1700s, at least 10 times. Now that I've finally mastered my fear of speaking in public, everybody wants me to shut up. And now that the newspapers finally print my letters to the editor, I have nothing to say to those filthy monkeys, except perhaps to the Boston Phoenix. Dear Phoenix, you started out as a totalitarian left-wing magazine, and now you have become a totalitarian corporate pawn, willing to crush, if not manipulate, all of your rivals. And my question to you is, how do I get in on this? I'm the wrong hero. Meat eater, car driver, corporate boy. So I think I fit right in with you over at the Boston Phoenix. I think we should get rid of some of the deadwood around here, starting with these individuals, and then concluding with me. Do you know why this crowd is so small? Because nobody showed up. They don't have the money, even though it's free. They can't take the time away from work to honor me with their presence. Well, I'm the wrong hero, and this episode is brought to you by my little automaton, my little mindless temporary worker, my little electrical grid, my little laser, my little nitrogen fertilizer plant, my little American Constitution, and by Junior Quantum Mechanic. Go away, boy, you bother me.
There's a big buzz from that speaker, man.
No, that's not the speaker, that's my head. All right? So, come on and feel the noise.
Yeah, that buzz.
Would somebody get me a glass of water? That's not a glass, it's a pitcher. Let's see if this microphone reaches that far.
Yeah, is that yours?
It is now. Yes, it is mine. I have selected this glass because of its unique shape relative to all the other glasses at the Middle East. Interesting how the dirt specks look like the faces of dying people trapped in hell. Well, the suckers in hell want ice water, but they're not going to get it. At least not as long as I'm the vice president of hell. And the reason I'm the vice president of hell is I want to be in charge of all the vice. And now, another word from my sponsor. Special. Today. Today only. Today. Don't let today pass you by. Buy today. Because by the time tomorrow comes around, today will not be available at any price. And nobody wants yesterday's papers. Now here comes the incredibly important part of my show. So it is truly fortunate that two individuals have stepped in, beefing up the crowd to its all-time maximum of 5. However, since 2 of those individuals are carrying on their own highly interesting, no doubt, at least to themselves, conversation in back, and thoroughly ignoring what is taking place on stage, I will not commence until I have gotten their undivided attention. Do you understand? I am sure you do. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Hey, wait, you can't leave. Not yet. Not until I've told this joke. Well, I guess that didn't exactly hold them there. Well, you know, I would rather have nobody in the room than 4 people who are carrying on their own conversation. In fact, they're carrying it on at such great length that they don't even hear me when I tell them to stop doing so. Isn't that interesting? Now only 2 of them are carrying on their own conversation. John Hanson with a newspaper, sort of like a monkey with a fruit basket. I mean, he sort of just like sifts through the entire thing regardless of what's going on. Los Angeles earthquake. Gee, what's happening in Maryland? So, come to my show for 52 weeks and you will get, I said, come to my show for 52 weeks.
Do that. You can't walk everywhere. You walk in front of the speaker, what's going to happen?
Did they say that to Christ? You can't walk everywhere.
You have encountered my force field.
Well, very well. Now pay close attention. If you come to my show for 52 weeks, you will get a free trip around the sun. A $30 value, yours free. Absolutely free. Yours to keep, whether or not you retain. I don't have to actually step in front of the speaker to produce that effect. So every time you continue to talk when I tell you not to, I will have to discipline you in a most cruel and unusual fashion. Now, actually, before I said that this next joke is the joke to listen to, but I was lying. This is the joke that you absolutely have to listen to. If you want to order multiple copies of my book on compulsive shopping, use your credit card and call 1-800-SQUANDER. I knew that would get a laugh. Hi, I'm the wrong hero. I'm selling myself. Cheap. But please remember that all purchases are as is. That's a good effect.
I'm not going to let you do it again.
Oh, okay. That's too bad because I wanted to do a Mission of Burma song. That would be the perfect intro.
Yeah.
So you think you gotta figure it out? Okay, you think you gotta okay, you think you gotta figure it out? Okay, no way! I'm gonna do that for the jazz shows. Well, This monologue may contain material that some viewers find objectionable, even though it is insipid and in no way threatens the status quo. Warning, do not inhale the fumes. And now, to continue in this musical mode, I would like to do my impression of Charlie Mingus if he had written the theme to the Flintstones. Now, you know the Flintstones is big band jazz, the intro. It's like da 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 da. You can see a drunken Dean Martin up there waving his cigarette like a baton. Well, what if Charlie Mingus had done the theme to the Flintstones? It would be something like da 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 da. Meet the Flintstones. Da 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 da. The Modern Storage Family. That's all I got right now. I gotta listen to more Charlie Mingus. I'm the wrong hero, and I find myself loving my world, especially since I seem to be the only one in it.
Man, what do you want, trouble or what?
Well, is it too much to ask that I have your undivided attention for the next 20 minutes or so?
Look at John Henson's reading over there.
Well, I don't care if he reads because he is capable of doing two things at once. Unlike some individuals in this room who apparently cannot sit still and listen at the same time. Oh, I see that I have hurt your feelings, and now you're going to put on your coat and part in a shambling sort of walk which characterizes your low-impact approach to things.
I can do two things at once.
Fart and burp. Eat and shit. I had a friend in high school who saw an elephant eating and shitting at the same time. He was very impressed. In fact, the sight prompted him to a quite uncharacteristic outburst of hilarity. And in fact, if you had seen this spectacle, you too might have perhaps been susceptible to a few giggles. Oh, okay, we'll see you later. Nice minute. Now, if you stay till the end of the show, I'll order a pizza, okay? I think I am pioneering this concept in comedy, the anti-comedy club, where the patrons all have microphones, and the comedian has to stand up there without any amplification whatsoever and holler over their din for at least 50% of the show.
Yeah, why don't you set that up? Put the camera on the stage.
Sure, let's put the Pokemon bow tie on the mastodon elephant and the Tyrannosaurus Rex protozoa come up with the hand grenade machine gun and all blow each other up, baby! God bless your day. I am not a federal agency, so I can say this with impunity. God bless your day. God bless and keep you. God bless you. Because I don't want you. The Great Barrier. You know what I say? I thank God every day that there's no prayer in schools. And I'll tell you what else. I accept the Bible's teachings because I find it easier than actually reading the Bible. And I think that's true for a lot of preachers as well. Matter can neither be created nor destroyed, and in most localities, nor can it be purchased on a Sunday. This is the kind of dry humor with which I made my considerable reputation. You know what I'm going to do if you don't stop reading that newspaper?
It's terrible.
I'm going to put an egg on your windshield. And it'll freeze there. It'll freeze there, you won't be able to get it off, and you'll be staring through egg yolk, moth intestines, and caked filth instead of the usual moth intestines and caked filth that you were forced to stare through while driving your car. Ah, yes.
Just an aside.
I drive in the breakdown lane because I figure I'm having a nervous breakdown every day, so I might as well drive in the appropriate lane. For that matter, I speed in the breakdown lane because I figure if I'm going to get nailed for speeding, I might as well be doing something really illegal. And I have an interesting approach to getting stopped by policemen. And it's called the nice victim, mean victim approach. And I've thought of some new ramifications to that. I get pulled over, the policeman says, "Let me see your license and registration." And I roll down the window and I go, "That's my license and registration, you stinking flatfoot! I pay your fucking taxes, asshole! How are you today, officer?" "Top of the morning to you, officer." "What's a police captain like you doing?" "Bound to be." "Come on, baby, be nice. Don't give me a ticket. Here's $100 bill. Now you just be nice and run along." "Say, officer, where did you get that shirt? You know, if you had come to me, I could have gotten it for you much cheaper. So the next time you buy clothing, officer, come to me. Oh, here's $1. Go out and buy your wife an extravagant present, okay? And don't spend it all in one place either." Now, you notice that it's actually a $1 bill with the word 20 written on the sides of it. Never mind that, it's actually just $1, okay? I just give that one to cab drivers, all right? You know, I ought to run you in. I don't want to hear that.
One more.
Do you know who you're talking to? I don't either. As a matter of fact, when I look in the mirror, I don't even know who I'm talking to. Why were you speeding? Well, it's a funny thing. I was pretending the accelerator was a policeman's head because I was sucking on a cube of LSD. And I wanted to get home before I melted the officer coffee and donuts.
Say it, Peter!
And Dunkin' Donuts.
Foreigner!
"Morning, sir." And he said, "I'll let you go this time. See it doesn't happen again." What about what? I don't want to hear that. All right.
What gives you the right?
I'll do anything you say. All right. I'll do manic depressive illness. Give me more of those extravagant sounds, okay?
Right.
In the future, we'll say that the wrong hero suffered from a depressive syndrome that could have easily been cured if medical science had been sufficiently advanced. In the future, all science will say that the cured if medical science had been sufficiently advanced. But medical science was not sufficiently advanced because medical science is evil. 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 Okay, great, I can do it now. You like that, huh? Well, I'm glad. I'm never going to do it again. I'm sober, but I'm going to try to pretend to be drunk, just for a change of pace. No, it was too sober. I'll try it again.
Nice.
Yeah, still too sober though.
Loosen up a little bit, loosen up.
I'll try it one more time.
Stand up and pretend you're pregnant. There you go.
Man, this stuff is good. I'll tell you, I've never had stuff like this before. Mommy? Well, all right. Thank you. You know,
It's when you depart from the boring diatribe. Really sell.
I learned a lot from a lot of people, but I'll tell you who I learned the most from. I learned a lot from my dog. I learned how to roll in my own filth. and that's a very valuable thing to know how to do. I learned how to drink from the toilet. And most of all,
You learned to drink from the toilet?
most of all, I learned how to beg for treats with my genitalia exposed. And that's a very valuable thing to know how to do, especially if the booking agent is a homosexual.
Hey, Francis,
Yes?
before you turn the camera up the end, man, just get a shot of those
17 pages.
17 pages of material from here. They're
17 is a prime number. It has nothing to do with the amount of material, but only with the fact that it's 17. Now I'm going to do Janis Ian singing at 17. I haven't had a hit in over 13 years, but now I'm ready to bore you once more with my redundant type of Jewish angst. I've lived my love with both hands now. I may be just an ugly sow, but 17 was really great. I had a #1 hit. Any other songs from the 60s? No, wait a minute. Do you want to hear any songs by artists from the 60s who had one more hit in the 70s and then disappeared? There are many examples of this. The Hollies, like Sunshine, all I need. Or the Moody Blues. All we are trying to say, we are all we got. Or the Rolling Stones. You can't get me if you let me go. Oh. Well, that was actually a hit from the 60s that was never a hit, and they re-released it on a bootleg label in the 70s. And you didn't listen to that record or else you'd know that song. But that's okay. It's okay, you can listen to it, and then you'll recognize it. I'm not too proud to grovel, but I am too proud to look the word up in the dictionary. So don't ask me to define it. I went to the Library of Congress. Actually, I worked in the Library of Congress, and
man.
all right, I won't. I worked in the Library of Congress, and they asked me if I had a rare book, and I set the book on fire, and I said, well, now it's rare, and pretty soon it'll be completely well done. And then you can have it. I went to the public library, and I dropped a book on the floor, and the librarian said, every time you drop a book, it takes 10 years off the life of the book. So I said, okay, I'll drop the fucking book 10 times, and then you'll have a valuable fucking antique. How do you like that, huh? Well, somebody thought that was funny. Isn't it funny how you always wear your dress at work the day the big boss comes around? You just can't win. I had a job as a security guard, but I got fired because somebody came down the halls yelling, guard, guard! And I didn't know what to do, so I said, victim, victim! I mean, hit, okay? Okay, I'm gonna open up an ice cream store, and I'm trying to think of some ice cream flavors. You know, like Miller Lite, or my favorite, Here Kitty Kitty, with flecks of real catnip. No? All right, I'll try something else. I'm in love, you know. With the spotlight. But I've been burned too many times before, so I can't consummate the affair unless I develop the ability to gravitate. So I won't deal with it. Hey, what's the difference between men and government bonds? Government bonds mature. And what's the difference between women and machinery? Machinery stops whining when you lubricate it. That got a smile. That's nice. My girlfriend said, wrong hero, why are you so lazy? And I said, come on, baby, what do you mean? somebody talking in the back. They're a friend of mine, so I'll give them enough rope. But if they continue to talk during my set, I'll have to lower the boom.
You're already talking about a mob hit.
It doesn't matter, man. You can't get past the barrier.
The great, no, I'm talking about you guys. I expect you guys to be ignorant and totally disagreeable and thoroughly reprehensible and you know, just sort of in general, characteristically despicable. I was the first person in my family to menstruate. And that's because I wanted to be on the cutting edge of bitching for a change, okay? And I'll tell you another thing. I would never dream of using my mother's tampon, especially if she was still using it. I mean, let's be decent about this, okay?
Why?
You ever have your mother as a teenage male try to explain to you what menstruation is? Like, I'm having my period. Oh? Okay. And that explains everything in the scientific manner that I'm accustomed to hearing these things from you concerning. Is there any way to explain to your teenage boy that you're on the rag? I mean, is there any way to do it discreetly, tastefully? Well, the birds and the bees, and no, that won't work, you know? It's like, if somebody comes up with something, let me know. Mom, what are those things? Oh, those are Mommy's plugs. Yeah. Mommy leaks a little bit, and maybe you should just explain it to them when they're young, you know? Well, boys have penises and women drip. I don't know why it should be that way, but it is. Anyway, it's funny how you get along with your parents and how that affects the way you get along with your children. Like, my father, he always says stuff like, oh, well, you want to move out of town and make something of yourself. What do you think you are, Mr. Big Shot, huh? Well, why can't you just do stuff the way they used to do in the old country, huh? Well, if it's good enough for the old country, it ought to be good enough for you. It's like, Dad, sticks and dirt were good enough for the old country. I mean, what are you saying here? And he says stuff like, my father says you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. And I say to him, Dad, if I wanted to catch flies, I'd go to the dumpster behind McDonald's, okay? But since you don't see me lurking there, perhaps that's not what I have in mind, is it?
It's not a library.
What's wrong?
It's nothing.
Not very lively, you're saying?
I said it's not a library.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, what is it? It's a university.
A mixture of performance art and poetry.
No. Okay, I'll start livening things up a little bit, okay? But I do need your full and undivided attention. Or, in the case of you schizophrenics, I need your full and undivided attention. Okay? That was an ad-lib, by the way. You should applaud that, because it's really hard doing this. It really is. You know, I got this huge grin on my face because it's so difficult. It's like that shit-eating grin, like, why sure, Sheriff, I'll never speed again in your county. You'll never see me again in your county at all, except to spend money. I love the police. They're all my friends. And every time I see a man in blue, I give him $20 on general principle. You know, just so there isn't any trouble, you know. I would never dream of breaking the law, officer. Okay, and I'll sing a song. Maybe that will perk your interest up, okay?
Where's the fucking sign?
What?
Where's the lease sign?
It fell down.
Fell down.
Jerry Seinfeld. Okay? He took it, because he doesn't like the way the sign reminds him of his name. So he tore it down. And then it was a real Seinfeld. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Good. All right. This is called the hippie song. And it goes like this. I think you should cut your beard and maybe do something about your breath. Because last night a bearded stranger, done tickled my baby to death. Well, I guess that wasn't CD enough, okay? But when it goes on a CD, it'll be CD enough for you. You know, you were all animals that I could extinguish with a mere flick of my finger, but that would be too easy. I prefer to do it the hard way. Yes indeed. Why go to a family reunion when all you're going to find is like a TV in every room, right? And a bunch of old folks sitting around watching it. The women are all watching Oprah, the guys are all watching what? You know, hockey or whatever happens to be on. Anything that has like 3 quarts of blood and 2 quarts of diesel oil, a man will automatically watch, you know? It's funny that way. I guess
you get a penalty if you draw blood, though.
If you what?
If you draw blood, you get like a 5-minute penalty. It's an actual rule.
If you draw blood, it's a 5-minute penalty, and if the guy's a hemophiliac, then you're thrown out of the league, right? Okay, now, this is where we get to the really great material, the A material, the star material. It's the material that I'm going to be doing on Star Search with Ed McMahon. Right! Well, this promising old comedian, he's one of America's stupidest and oldest comedians. He's been doing this, he's been banging his head against the wall for 9 years, and now he's finally getting his shot here on Star Search 94. Let's have a big hand for the wrong hero. Thank you, Ed. You're fat and redundant. Die. How are you? I don't care. I hate our national anthem.
Francis Scott Key was a one-hit wonder. What else did this man ever write? Have you ever seen anything else by Francis Scott Key anywhere except the national anthem? And it's boring, too. And no wonder people can't sing it. Not only does it have a 4-octave range, but the words are totally like 18th century, "Oh, say, can you see by the stars early night what so proudly we hailed?" Well, talking about an extended clause here. I mean, when does this clause end? In the Atlantic Ocean? By the twilight's last gleaming. You gotta be a goddamn Einstein to follow the tortured logic and syntax of our stupid, boring national anthem, okay, folks? So, here, for the first time on Star Search, and for you alone, I'm gonna do my version of the national anthem.
Sure is bright out. Gosh, that flag is pretty. Gee, I'm glad it's there. Say, this country's swell. You know, that hit by Soul Asylum? For the longest time I thought it was, runaway slave never come back. Always riding on a one-man track, you know, like the Underground Railroad. You know, I thought it was about the Civil War. Boy, was I surprised. And now for the contemporary material. The United Nations has finally gotten the Bosnian Serbs to cease their aggression in Yugoslavia. Not like we fucking care. Is there any oil there? No. Do they make a good car? No. Fuck them, you know? But I wrote a song in honor of peace in Yugoslavia that goes like this. If you bomb my suburbs, I will shell your suburbs to serve with love. With love. Doom, 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 doom. Ah, good. I got a chuckle from a non-professional member of the audience. I'd like to inject an autobiographical note here. When I was growing up, I never found it necessary to steal, but I did anyway, because stolen food tastes better.
Hey, what does steatopygia mean?
It means a big ass. If you can balance a cocktail glass on your buttocks, that's steatopygia. Any other cruelly obscure words you wish for me to define in my inimitable fashion? Before.
Give us a profile, man.
Okay, here's my impression of Winnie the Pooh. And now, Winnie the Shit.
Get your fucking hands off of my honey, fucker.
You know, so, anyway, yeah, okay, what other cruelly bizarre and incomprehensible words do you wish for me to define? I am at your service. I'm your butt boy. What? Go ahead, Steve.
How about the algebraic symbol I?
Oh, well, that's a negative number. It stands for the value of -1.
I like the word weird.
The square root of -1 is I. So now that you know. And as for the word weird, It's a Middle English word, and it comes from Old German, and it's wordling. And a wordling was this sort of really twisted, gnarly dude that people didn't want to have anything to do with. One of those hideous, evil, twisted dwarves with an eye in their chest type dealies, you know. Like, you know, when cousins marry, that's a wordling. And so that's where the word weird comes from. And that's why it's spelled in such a weird fashion. Because it comes from a feudal culture where gigantic, primitive, ancient corporations shackle wage slaves into bound service for like 20 years and then retire them off to a one-room cottage somewhere. And that was the end of it. Very different today, of course.
Really about their way to heaven.
Nowadays you get a one-room condo instead, and they don't pay your rent for you. So things have really progressed from feudal times, and the word weird is a very good one to have around these days. See, I can prove to you that I'm level-headed. Do you know how level-headed I really am? When I chew tobacco, juice dribbles out of both sides of my mouth at once. That's how level-headed I am, okay? I'm the wrong hero. I may be a failure, but at least I'm a perfect failure. You know, so many people try to keep up with the Joneses. Not me. I run away from the Joneses because I trashed their lawn.
How about the Jonesies?
The Jonesies? Because what kind of weird, un-American name is Jones anyway? The Reggae Jam starts at 3 o'clock. Nothing is scary. Like an eye, the fly has an eye, I have an ear. I'm the wrong hero, and I'm going to ask this philosophical question. Psst, psst, hey, you guys. Psst. What good is it to be original if nobody tries to copy you? Okay? Life is never fair, but death always is. Come back here.
Later, hero.
Hey, wait. Whoa, wait. Wait, I'll do my TV stuff, okay? Whoa! Okay? You like that? I can do other stuff too. Skipper! And, Jane, stop this crazy thing! Well,
What do you do?
yeah, okay. Since I refuse to pander to your basest needs and desire, you've elected to withdraw yourself from my company. Please, kindly sit down. You can endure this for another 5 minutes or so. Then I will give you leave to make your gracious exile. Come on. You guys are part of a play. The world's longest running play with a continually rotating lineup which changes every single week. Don't you realize you ought to be thrilled to be on the cutting edge of this chaotic situation? Come on, this sounds scene.
It's really gonna be another 5 minutes?
Like I said, I'm not too proud to grovel. Please, 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 twinkle, twinkle. Yeah, just another 5 minutes, okay?
Well, what about dancing through the forest of life?
Yeah, we'll do that at the end. All right. Okay. Then I'm going to run through this really quick, okay? So if I had to talk around you, then I could do this much quicker, okay?
5 minutes.
All right, starting now. Don't talk, okay? I broke 20 mirrors. Now I expect to live 140 years. Where's the laugh line? Now that we have computers, everybody can be dysfunctional at the speed of light. Where's the fucking laugh line? Come on. Pay attention. Now the owners talk. Okay. My motto is lose a few, then lose a few more, because why buck a trend? Okay? And I like to rock the boat even though I can't swim. And isn't it funny how you lose your virginity at the moment you start prostituting yourself? And comedy is based on the fact that the stupider you act, the more people want to watch you. And I'm the wrong hero. I'm one of 70 million law-abiding gun owners, and I just do what the gun tells me to do, okay? And I'm glad I'm tall, otherwise I might have an even bigger chip on my shoulder. And I'm living proof that Darwin was wrong. How am I doing?
Really good. 3 minutes.
I'm the wrong hero. I'm as good as anybody. Actually, I'm better, but I won't admit it. I would never sell my friends down the river, because you never know when there might be a dry spell. K. I may tell lies, but they're universal lies to counteract all the universal truths. As a matter of fact, to be perfectly honest, I've been lying the whole time. And now, to climax, the climactic, the big payoff here for this. Okay, where's Jeff? Went to the bathroom? Guess I'll have to miss it. What? That's not him, that's Jess.
I think he went that way.
Oh, he went that way. Okay. Here are my 10 faults. You want to hear my 10 biggest faults? Here they are. Ready? I long-windedly use 10 words when one would do. For example, that sentence I just said. I utilize lapidarian phraseology spiked with cruelly obscure adjectives. I'm a mean guy until you cross me, then I'm real nice. The more I pretend I won't sell out, the more I'd like to if only they'd let me. I hate all ideas I haven't thought of, and any idea I have thought of I consider trite. I always come up with these lists of 10 things, but I run out of steam about halfway through. I'm a manly man, but my dress is saturated with drool and other unspeakable fluids. I refuse to be serious, but I don't want to eat dirt. I need absolute quiet at all times, unless the background noise is the sound of my own voice. And I gamble, but I'm not compulsive. I never gamble on Sunday. I go to church on Sunday because I want to cover my bets with God. As a matter of fact, I bet on the length of the sermon. Will it be 40 minutes, like most of my monologues? Or will it be 5, like most of the monologues of other performers who perform here? Okay, here it is. Closing statements. I'm the wrong hero. I'm faster than the speed of light! Because I'm afraid of the dark. I'm faster than the speed of sound because it's the only way I get any sleep around here. I like to go shopping with a hand grenade. I don't believe in eating healthy food. How healthy can it be? It's dead, damn it! It's dead! So how can you say it's healthy food? And I think that people who live in glass houses must like to show neighbors how they fuck at night. You know, and I think when in Rome,
60 seconds, man.
do as the Romans do. And if you're a Roman, you do what you damn well please. Go to the funeral, into the coffin, you know. Okay, so that's it. I'm done, okay? But I'll tell you one thing about this comedy thing before I go. When I die, don't count me out because I'll probably get out of my fucking coffin and write my material for the next morning.
Nope.
Now, Bess, do you have that music ready? Any music would do. Give me some music, please, and I'll do my interpretive dance one more time. This dance goes out to all the rainforests which are being destroyed, not in the Amazon, because I could care less about people who don't speak English, but rather in Canada and in northern territories where the forest primeval is being systematically eradicated to suit the ends of greedy capitalists who want to deforest the earth just so they can make balsa wood airplanes and popsicle sticks. And there is no justice in the world. And this goes out to all the political prisoners everywhere, even the ones who deserve to be where they're at because they were stupid enough to become. And it's called... Good night.
What do you think? I'm gonna go over.
not offended. For I knew I had to rise above it all, or drown in my own shit.
Well, yes. Was it as good for you as it was for me? I hope so. Hey, don't leave just yet. This is the best non-open mic portion of the show. Yeah, come on back in.
Come back in.
Nice legs.
Come on.
Going my way, sailor? Ah. Ting. So, yes, I like this music, and I also like the fact that the ceiling's falling out. Ooh, it's an aluminum beam. Okay.
Hi, I'm the wrong hero. And, you know, my girlfriend's nickname is Bunny. And that's okay, except for the carrot stains on my underwear.
Timing is copyrighted music, so I think we better turn the music down now, or else I'll be sued for, you know, breach of copyright. And I wouldn't want that because I got enough problems. Hi, I'm the wrong hero. Like me. So much for warming up the audience. Say, you must be the famous crowd I've heard so much about. Yes. Say, you think you're better than me, don't you? I love John. He's going to fix my new VCR for me. That's why I love him. It may take him a couple of months, but I don't mind. It's cheaper than paying $100 to some guy to look at it and say, it's going to cost another $200 at least. I'll do something for you though, John. I'll read your next newsletter. How's that? Oh, sorry, I shouldn't do that, you know. But I figured if I demeaned and disgraced myself enough on stage, I would be popular.
Demean and disgrace us.
But I guess you were wrong. Okay, I will. I like you. You're honest. You're original. You speak your mind.
And you work like a slave for peanuts!
Just like a certain comedian whose name we don't have to mention now, but we'll mention it anyway. The wrong hero. I'm the wrong hero, and here is my motto.
I'm not paid enough to suck up to you monkeys!
For I am the wrong hero, and I am totally without guile. You hope. I'm a non-violent hypocrite. You believe me, don't you? Or do you want a little trouble? I'm the wrong hero. I call wrong numbers on purpose. And the message on my answering machine is rebel. And that's an order. And now it's time to do the topical material. Just in time for St. Patrick's Day. They have a McDonald's in Greece, which is appropriate because somehow the two go together. Now here in this country, they serve green milkshakes on St. Patrick's Day. Somehow, I don't think McDonald's is going to be serving green beer and boiled dinners and offering felt hats with big shamrocks on them anytime soon.
Francis, did you hear the news today about the St. Patrick's Day Parade?
What about the St. Patrick's Day Parade?
They allow gays in it, so the veterans are going to boycott it.
Okay, so in other words, they let buttfuckers in, and they don't let, and so the killers are going to go home and play with their ball. Okay, that's fine. You know, I can't get too worked up about this gay controversy in the St. Patrick's Day Parade because St. Patrick's Day is just a primitive tribal ritual that you filthy earth monkeys indulge yourselves in once a year. It's sort of like the Irish version of Purim or something like that, you know. Get drunk, vomit on the street, pass out. Hey, I paid $60,000 to go to college to learn how to do that, you know, and they do it for free on St. Patrick's Day.
People want to get drunk on Purim because our stomachs are too weak.
Hey, quit interrupting, okay? This is my show now. I don't yell out helpful advice to you most of the time, so. Anyhow, St. Patrick got rid of all of the snakes in Ireland, but the Irish have been drinking plenty of snake bite remedy all the same, just in case they come back. You know how it is. You know, in Boston,
Sure, in Boston, everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
and I guess in Italy, everybody's Italian on Columbus Day. Well, you know, when I was going to school, if you didn't wear green on St. Patrick's Day, the other kids would pinch you. And I went to school in Little Italy, so I don't understand this. Now in Ireland, if you don't wear green on St. Patrick's Day, they roll gigantic boulders at you. Of course, if you do wear green on St. Patrick's Day, they still roll the fucking boulders at you, you know? It's their national sport. Rolling gigantic boulders at people. No, it is. That's their national sport, along with Morris dancing, writing incomprehensible poetry, and drinking ether, you know. It's right up there. It's the ether drinking Olympics. He's got a hole in his stomach the size of a quarter. Can he compete with the guy who only has one the size of a pinprick? Well, we'll see when the ether faint out continues. Anyway, you know, rolling these gigantic boulders, it sort of gives a whole new dimension to the phrase bowling green. And what's their travel slogan? Come to Ireland and be a human candle pin, you know? Sure, and it makes the running of the bulls at Clanpona look like a slapping contest between panty waists. The giant boulder may crush you, but if you're nimble enough and you have a little bit of that whiskey in you, well, you won't even feel it. So the hell of it is, if I were Irish, people would say I was a storyteller, you know? I wear little kilts and dance around, you know. What about the Scottish? Why don't they have a day? I'll tell you why. The Scotch have the 20th century because they invented whiskey, golf, and selfishness. Three things without which no modern day businessman can function, you know? So don't give them a day, they got enough time, you know? And now, this travel advisory. Come to exotic Somerville, where you can have the shoes stolen off of your feet, if we can figure out how to untie the laces. Only in exotic Somerville. And while you're at it, come to New York City. We won't offer to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge anymore, but we'll try to shell you off the Brooklyn Bridge, if you're not careful. We make Herzegovina look like a spirited game of bingo at the old age home, only in New York City. People magazine is 20 years old, but you still only have to have a 4th grade education to read it, so. Yeah. Hey, you know, I saw this thing about this year was a record snowfall in Boston. Now let this sink into your heads for a minute. A record snowfall in Boston.
What about the Ice Age? Huh? Glaciers, woolly mammoths.
All right, so I don't want to hear any more about, oh, there was 0.3 of an inch of snow this year, more than there ever has been, and I can't function. What, you know, it's like we're primitive natives. Oh, white stuff, fall from sky, him bad, me cold, you know, build him fire, you know, so I don't want to hear any more whining about it. From the letter A, can I have a little more monitor, please?
Yeah.
No, wait, I'm a professional. I don't need monitors. I know what I sound like. All I care about is the mix in the room. So adjust the monitors just a little. And
Yeah.
you see, the reason they're not laughing is because the mix in the room, you see. You gotta punch it up, beef it up. That's right, give me some more of those bass tones, sir. And now an impression, the Elephant Man. I am not an animal. I'm an insect. Okay? And now the Human Torch. Is it hot in here, or is it just me?
It's just you, Johnny.
Yeah. You know, some comedians refer to this place as a toilet. Now, I beg to differ because a toilet has working plumbing, okay? So let's not insult toilets around here anymore, okay? Now, here's another thing. Some people say the wrong hero is evil. It is a lie! I'm not evil. Do you have any sexual fantasies? Do you have any sexual fantasies? Would you admit them to a man in a moo-moo? I was eating some mixed nuts the other day. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Cambridge. We have to refer to them as emotionally disturbed seed pods. I forgot. You know, I'm not saying that the patrons in this club are cheap, but they have been known to lick baklava crumbs off of the snout of a baby bear. So, we've got one person who is into visualization here. And how is it that only the comics who aren't working are the ones who think humor is funny? Comics don't think humor is funny. It's like, oh, I've heard that one. That's the Rationale of the Dirty Joke, Volume 2. Yeah, page 217.
No, it's a good joke. It makes us jealous.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, thanks. Thank you for being so diplomatic. I have a special God whistle. Hear it? I have a special God whistle. Only he can hear. Every time my dog sees me, he jumps for joy. That's because he knows I'm fixing to put a bouillon cube in the toilet bowl. Just for him. I said to my nephew, stop drinking the dog's milk. And he said, why? And I said, because her puppies need it more. You ever go up to your girlfriend and behave like I better let this laugh get through here. Wow, the longest laugh. I gotta get the sampler out, man. Let's bottle this sucker. Phenomenal. So, you ever go up to your girlfriend and behave like a dog? She'll love it. I assure you. It's like, well, hi, how are you? Especially when her parents are around, you know. It always gets a good chuckle from old grandpa. Yeah, the fella's just like I was. Chip off the old block, yes. You know, now, there's all these old guys wearing hats. Never get stuck behind a guy wearing a hat. Especially one of those hats with the little, sweatband with the fishing fly stuck in it. You know, he's 60 years old and 70 years old. And, you know, he doesn't drive his age. He drives half his age. The older he gets, the slower he drives. So if he's 70, he does 35 in the passing lane. And he always has this bumper sticker. Ask me about my grandchildren. Well, I ran that cute little old man off the road because my car had a bumper sticker on it that said, it's not your grandchildren who do 35 in the passing lane, it's you I want to ask about. It was a truck. It didn't fit on the car. Well, I'm going to open up my own car rental franchise, and the slogan will be, do you wish to rent a car? Now you are my eternal slave at Evil Car Rental. Those automatic seat belts? I don't have the key. You're stuck. Yeah, you know, oh, I was going to get married tomorrow. Well, it better be a drive-through wedding because you're stuck. So you pay my $5,000 fee. We're thinking about sending 25,000 troops to Bosnia. Well, I figure if we send them there in Yugos, the war will be over by the time they get there, right? So let's not worry about it. And now, exclusively for the first time on the Middle East stage, the Wrong Hero presents The 7 Ages of Whiskey. Old kid, old boy, old drunk, old before your time, old and in the way, old rocking chair, and 150 proof old age home. Is that kind of depressing? I'm sorry. Well, Superman's back, which gives me the opportunity to do this joke, which is Clark Kent is a mild-mannered reporter for the Daily Planet. When's the last time you've ever seen a mild-mannered reporter? You know, it's like excuse me, can I have that picture of your dead baby so I can put it on the front page of the paper? Please, sir? You know, anyway, what's Superman doing working at the Daily Planet? With his powers, he ought to be working at the Daily Universe, the hourly cosmos. You know, here's a man who jumps into a black hole to clean his uniform, and he's like going up to he has a day job chasing ambulances. You know, I mean, somehow it doesn't fit. You'd think he would at least be Secretary of State or something like that. You know, with my heat vision, I'll melt Yeltsin's head. You know, but then we'll get Zhuravsky in there. Him I can manage. He's a Superman just like me. So, yes, I had a job working for Modern Maturity, but I produced a spin-off magazine called Prehistoric Hijinks, and later it became the script for the Flintstones. Whew, well, yes. I don't like you anymore. You're not funny. I had a job writing children's books, but I got fired because I handed them in my masterpiece, Winnie the Shit. And let's see, they didn't like the other ones either. The Dog Who Ate a Kitten, and Fat Stuff, the Mean Boa Constrictor. Somehow they thought that was tasteless, déclassé. Then I had a job at a topless restaurant. I had a big sign, topless restaurant, bottomless cup of coffee. And I almost fell through into the bottomless cup of coffee, and I was like, help, help. It's like, you know, and then, well, then George Bush made an appearance, you know, down in Texas. I'm not into breasts. Not until I lose my teeth. Then we'll see, okay? I gotta tell you something though. Why is it the comics say, I gotta tell you something though? That's what they're doing. You know, it's like redundant, isn't it? I'm in love with the spotlights because I'm afraid of my own shadow. When I become a father, I think I'll be a hippie dad, and I'll say stuff like, son, I'm gonna teach you a lesson I'll never remember. Okay? Because my own father didn't give me too much attention. It's like, one day I got stung by a bee, and I went home, and my dad said, why are you crying? Only sissy boys cry. I'll give you something to really cry about. Daddy, I was stung by a bee. Well, why wasn't it an A? Well, I don't know, Dad. So now I live in the ghetto, and I'm working on a cookbook called The Ghetto Gourmet, and it's like, preheat the oven to 2,000 degrees to get rid of all the rats and roaches that live in there, and then stick that frozen turkey TV heater in there for 3 seconds, pop it out, eat it, tinfoil and all. Or are you afraid? They're going to build a zoo in Central Square, but it'll be a ghetto zoo. You know, the animals will wear sunglasses because they're ashamed to be seen in such a shabby place, and they won't have an elephant, but they'll have a trash can made out of an elephant's foot, you know. So, well, there's part of an elephant, not the best part. Oh, and a piano with ivory keys. There's the other part. couldn't scratch up a whole elephant. And then they won't have a barrel of monkeys. They'll have one monkey in a barrel doing unspeakable things. You know, for 5 cents, you get to watch too. I live in the city, which means that I'm anonymous to the people whose opinion I respect, and famous to those I don't give a damn about. That's the thing about living in the city. I'm going to open up an artist gallery in my apartment. It's going to be called Paintings by 3-Year-Olds. An artist could have painted these pictures. Okay? Because you know, I live in a man's apartment. I don't have powder puffs and lipsticks and Marlboro lights in my refrigerator. In fact, I don't even have a toilet. I got a gigantic trough, and right next to it's the beer supply. I got nuclear waste. I got a caged gorilla. I got Vaseline, gasoline, and dynamite. And that's because it's a man's apartment. I'm writing a sequel to Roots. It's called Nuts and Berries. I'm going to follow it up with Owl Pellets. Yes. I have Alzheimer's. Why is Owl Pellets so funny? I mean, do you know what owl pellets are? It's like when an owl eats a mouse, it shits out these little fur balls, and they're owl pellets. You can sell them, you know? George Bush doesn't eat pork rinds anymore, he eats owl pellets. They're crunchy, they're crispy, and pop them in the microwave, and they come out smelling like a rose. Yeah, well, I have Alzheimer's disease, and don't you forget it. I already have. I think. I don't remember. Another thing. I take a mighty dim view of cataracts. Just when you think you've seen everything, you get cataracts. Ain't it a bitch? My mother had to be a mother and father both to me because my dad was a transvestite. He was a police sergeant who was into macrame. Whew. Yeah, he gave me G.I. Jane dolls. That was improv. In this postmodernist way, not only do I tell the jokes, but I also tell you their provenance and how I came to write them. Because I'm actually a sensitive artiste. Notice the pinky finger vibrating. Do you know why the Berlin Wall fell? The second Russians started playing rock and roll, it was all over for communism. Because you may not know it, but rock and roll is capitalism in 1-4-5. And every time you hear a rock and roll song, what they're really saying is, it's subliminal. Consume, 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 fornicate, fornicate, die, 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 die. You know, so that's how it works. My apologies to those of you who do not fornicate. Anyway, you ever notice how only rock and roll stars and policemen are required to wear black leather? Now, doesn't that tell you something? Earth music makes me nauseous, which is why I listen to Sub Pop. Now, what I think is, it all comes down to comfort or fashion. So let's take a little straw poll here. Comfort or fashion? Who says comfort? That's one, that's two. Three. 3 comforts, no fashions. Well, hey, you're just like me, you know? Because all the other comics, you know, they're like, they're not funny. They're uncool clowns, man. They're more concerned with their own comfort than they are actually saying something. So, I don't know what to do. Now, when you meet Bill Clinton, don't offer to take him whitewater rafting, whatever you do. And when he's sick in the hospital, don't send him flowers. It might remind him of Jennifer. Jennifer. Well, and here's another thing. Boris Yeltsin refused to meet with Richard Nixon. Now, he says it was because Nixon also planned to meet with Zhirinovsky, but I know the reason. Yeltsin was sitting there thinking, my white hair, which looks like cotton candy spun from dried snot, would clash with Richard Nixon's 5 o'clock shadow. It wouldn't look good on the news, so I'll just say I refused to meet him on principle. That is, of course, giving Boris Yeltsin credit for being able to articulate himself in English. I mean, a man who eats horse meat and guzzles vodka is not exactly, the playboy of the Western world now, is he? Now here's something you like. I think I'm going to have to answer for my crimes someday before a tribunal, and I can just see myself in front of the judge, and it would be something like, "What is your name?"
I refuse to answer on the grounds that it might tend to incriminate me.
How do you plead?
I refuse to answer on the grounds that it might tend to incriminate me. Young man, your conduct has been reprehensible and unconscionable. Sprechen Sie English, Judge Hitler! I don't have to suck up to you, you gutless old wart healer!
How do you plead? I refuse to answer on the grounds that it might tend to incriminate me. Gee, where did all the audience go? They stayed for 3 minutes and they left. Well, I did manage to put a fright into the owner's parents. Literally, really, they're standing out there in the hallway. Wait, they'll be coming through the door any second. So this is like, you do 2 things at once. Watch for them, watch this. Now, I held a bullet in my hand, but I couldn't get it through my head. Okay. I signed my own death warrant, but I used a pseudonym. That's smart. I'm working on a book called The Story of a Schizophrenic. Not. Who's that knocking at the back door? Must be one of the reggae musicians who are about to kick me off stage. I stared at the sun for 12 hours. Luckily, the sun backed down. You know what I don't like about you people? You can take it, but you can't dish it out. You know what I'm saying? Now that's a game one can play. Autism. Television. Nintendo. Singer-songwriter. If I could have a painter paint my favorite scene, I think it would be my family on the beach, near a cliff, trapped by wild animals. A nature scene. Get some suspense in there. Wow. Sir, looking into your eyes,
Yeah,
I see a man of dignity.
that's right.
Well, that's all I have to say. Never insult a man who has a gigantic star on his hat, It's like, it's sort of like, hey, that badge of yours looks kind of crummy, all right, you're under arrest, Let's see, what else? Never insult a man who has a clip of bullets hanging off his shoulders and an X pattern either, So it's like, just not good. Hey, and now the co-star of the show. Look at that mustache. It's like salt and pepper, They'll do a rap act with your mustache. Well, thank you for setting up around me. It's nice to know I'm loved. Yes, let's see. I'm getting rattled now, and that can never happen. You know what I say? I think I should drop an atomic bomb on Antarctica. That's so the penguins there, for the very first time, could fly. They could fly. Yeah, give me 5 minutes, guys, okay? Yeah, that's right. Set a spell. Take your shoes off, unless you haven't washed your feet in a while. Then we'll pass on that. So, let's see. What else? I like the Aztecs. They're a tribe after my own heart. And they'll get it too. Where do you think salsa came from, huh?
You know.
I think my house was built on an Indian campground. How do I know this? Maybe it's the old army blankets infested with cholera. Or maybe it's the peyote buttons in the shape of bingo markers that tipped me off. I'm not sure. You know, I know you guys don't like skinheads, but there is one good thing about skinheads. They don't leave hair on the soap, okay? Now, Walt Disney's going to build a Disney's America. They're going to build this thing in Virginia where, you know, the Disney characters sort of address the issues of American history. So, you know, Mickey Mouse is Uncle Tom. Don't beat me, Uncle Walt, don't beat me! Or, let's see, you know, scenes from American history. Pluto reads the Gettysburg Address. Or, let's see, Goofy as Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Today, December 11th, a day that will live in infamy. Or maybe Donald Duck at the Kennedy inaugural, like, it's not what you're doing to find out, it's what you do.
Sterling, what's up? What's happening, man?
Hey guy, you're standing in front of the camera, man. Like, you know, that machine with the red light? Yeah.
Standing in front of your audience, man.
Yeah, that's even worse, man. I'll tell you what, I'll be only 3 minutes more, and then you guys can start putting the stuff on the stage. Oh, what is this? Like, I'm in Beirut, you know? Quick, the bunker! Oh, whoa. Yeah, that hurt. Oh. Pop the wax out of my ears for me now. Oh. So, I'm working on a book. It's a combination of two of the greatest classics of American and Irish literature. It's called Huckleberry Finnegan's Wake. And it's like River Run past Paps and Jim's leads us via circumlocucious locution to Aunt Polly's house. I'm getting tired now, okay? So I'll just do my, you ever see It's a Wonderful Life? This isn't the season for it. What I want to know is, what was so bad about Potterstown? Hell, you know, if I had to be somewhere on Christmas Day, Potterstown wouldn't be such a bad place. You know, it's got girly shows, bars are open 24 hours. It's a swinging joint, you know? So, I don't see what was so bad about Potterstown. That's just what I wanted to say. There was more to that, but I'm not going to do it. Not until world hunger is eliminated. So, it's all over but the shouting, but that's coming right up. So here it is. The grand finale. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? All right. Everybody have a seat for just 1 minute. You are making me look stupid! And I don't need your help to do that. So, here it is, the grand finale. Farewell, Earth sheep who wear the masks of wolves. My parting words to you are these. Suck my drug-laced nipples, Earth filth. For you are beginning to bore me. You make me nervous because you're evil.
got you all buttered up and ready to go. How do I feel today? I'm looking good. How am I doing? I look like I'm ready to have some fun. Each time I look at you, I'm looking through the mirror of hate. Well, the mirror of hate. Ooh. Ooh. Yes. I'm gonna let it do some jokes for a while.
They loved it in the piano.
That's right. Well, and now I'd like to do my sensitive, introspective ballad, Please Warm My Wiener. I'm the wrong hero. My friends call me Tyrant the All-Powerful. My enemies call me, hey, stop puking on my wife! My mom told me a funny joke. Only, I forgot. Rumor has it that fascists have tiny weenies. Lies! All lies! Do you hear me? Do you think I should answer a hypothetical question?
Sure.
Well, you just did. You look at things and say, why? I look at things and say, Jesus H. Christ, what a dump! Look at this place. The sound equipment dates back from the Flintstones. There's a little bird in here, you know. You think this is hard. You should try working at the Rat. I'm the wrong hero. They voted me scapegoat of the year. And now they're persecuting me because I won't accept the award. And now, the wrong hero with this public service announcement. Kids, stay in school because we don't want you around here. That's for sure. I'm the wrong hero. I'm not so bad. Oops.
Oh, man.
Except when I'm drop-kicking microphones across the stage. But I'm just trying to make a living. All I want to do is sell evil toys to sick children. Just like most people in the advertising business. Hey, how much money do you have in your pocket? You. How much money you got in your pocket? 81 cents and a green stamp?
No, $20 actually.
$20. Well, you can buy yourself a high-class restaurant deal with that. How about you, pal? Yeah, you, with the slick back hair. Boy, I don't know, 15 shekels. How about like you, what? How much you got?
Well,
Fork it over! How about you? How much you got? Yeah, how much money you got in your
I
pocket?
don't know, but it's all the czarist railroad bonds.
What I was just doing now was called market research. I'm trying to establish my target audience. Obviously, it's misfits, bums, losers, alcoholics, drug addicts, and people who are easy to shop for around Christmas time. This presentation of The Wrong Hero is brought to you by Anti-Ivory Soap. It's a steaming pile of dung, but it's really good for your skin. Well, this is a comedy show, and I think that Masters of Ceremony should run comedy shows like drill sergeants. All right, you maggots, line up. I want 50 jokes. Move it, move it, move it, move it. This presentation of The Wrong Hero is also brought to you by Mr. Phil. When your parents come to visit, do you want to impress them with the utter squalor of your dwelling place so that they'll hand you gobs of money so you can afford to live in a transient hotel? Or when your bohemian pals sidle over,
Do you want them not to think that you're merely a bourgeois parasite? Well, here's the remedy. Spread lots and lots of Mr. Filth around. It'll make your place look like the black hole of Calcutta in seconds flat. I'm gonna have to do something spectacular in order to get your attention back, like jump from here onto those chairs. You think I can do it?
Not with a microphone in here.
Oh, great. Break your fucking legs, just don't damage the equipment.
Right. Why bother?
This is spectacular. Penn and Teller, move over. I'm afraid. I don't want to do this. Tell me not to do it.
Don't do it.
Fuck you.
You did it.
This presentation of The Wrong Hero is also brought to you by Anarchy Light. Only half as destabilizing as the leading forms of chaos. Anarchy Light.
How about a pratfall right now?
A pratfall? You have to be a prat to do a pratfall. And, thank you, but no. I prefer to keep my prat in running condition.
What's this, more comedy?
No, it's not comedy, it's anti-comedy.
Yeah, with Michael here, it's like the good old days, man. The golden days of The Wrong Hero.
Remember how good nostalgia used to be?
Maybe Eric Waddy was here.
When did he go comedy? What's the way to start?
That's new development.
What? Comedy?
Tommy.
Communist.
You can trust your car to the man who wears a star. The big, bright, genocidal, Maoist star! So, yes.
Yeah, did the Chinese create making cars?
I'll get into that.
Watch out, watch out.
Whoa!
You're still a nitwit.
No, I'm just trying to get your attention the only way I can. By damaging your valuable equipment.
So, you cannot bear to pay attention for 5 whole seconds consecutively?
I'm The Wrong Hero, and as you might have guessed, my slogan is stupefaction guaranteed, or your money back, if I can remember where I put it. You know?
Sorry.
Ooh, Mrs. Carmichael!
When aliens invade this planet, they'll be driven off by Phil Collins' ugly 60-foot face at a Genesis concert, and Lucille Ball's Ricky!
Francis, I promise not to talk for 5 minutes if you do it.
Sandra Bernhardt's lips, Lucille Ball's voice, Phil Collins' ugly, bald, leering face.
We must flee this degraded planet at once. When a beautiful woman walks down the street, you're all guys, most of you. And it's just natural to say,
All of us.
oh, well, you got the mustache, so that proves it.
Yes, nice.
Portuguese. He's got a beard. Yeah. I'll give you the benefit of the Tao. No river runs the same way twice, especially if you piss in it.
Francis, show us your profile, man.
Anyway, you see a beautiful girl walk down the street. I'm sorry, it's a girl. And you say, wow, I sure would like me some of that if only I wasn't in such a hurry. When people see me walking down the street, do you know what they say? Security, security, come to Sector 4 at once. That's what they say. Hey, are you going to finish that?
Well, I'm soon to be getting close.
Okay, well, tell you what. I hate restaurants where the waiters come up to you and address you by name. Like, my name is Ricardo. You know what I like to say to them?
My name is Feed Me and Live.
That's what I like to say to them. And it works every time. You know, Sean, we just had St. Patrick's Day. And they want to know something. Is it something you want to know now? Everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day except maybe Orange Man.
That might be you.
And homosexuals. But here's what I don't get. The Irish let the gays march in their parade in Ireland, but they won't let them march in Boston. What if Lucky Charms came to Boston? You know, sure, it's me, Lucky Charms. Get out of here, you fucking pederast. You know, like, oh no, marshmallow stars, pink clovers, green triangles. No, it's pink triangles, green clovers. You know, get the hell out of here, yellow stars. You know, put them in the can. Intruder, report to Sector 5 at once. Apprehend. So, yes, what if Jim Morrison were Irish? I think he'd still be alive today if he like did Irish songs. You know, like, oh, the time to hesitate, the screw, no time to walk, go in the mire, and if you're not careful, I will light your head on fire. Oh, it's over the hill, the poorhouse over the hills and far away, and if you're not careful, I will light your head ablaze. Yep, instead, you know, it was like, row, baby, row. So, you know, I mean, he gargled his esophagus every time he got on stage. Yeah, it's like the old times again. It's like the high school reunion.
Hey, how are you? You're off camera now.
I don't care.
Is that thing even on? Want me to refocus?
Fuck no. Don't touch it, my friend. Don't you.
What's this thing?
I'll pull.
Is it even on?
I'll pull.
I'll push. I'll push.
I went to my high school reunion.
Hey, you're paying more attention to the audience than the audience is paying attention to you.
No, I'm paying more attention to the audience than the audience is paying to me. You don't have to repeat the word attention, you see. It's like sloppy syntax. In written speech, it would be called parallelism, but in spoken word, it is not considered appropriate to be wordy and redundant because people's attention spans are obviously very limited, unless you're talking about something like...
Yeah. Do some physical comedy, man.
Oh, see this?
Now you're talking.
That is enormous.
This ain't fat. It all goes into my dick when I fuck.
Now that's funny.
Now that's funny. You know, it's like, okay, now we're going to torture a Shetland pony for the big showstopper, okay? What you're saying is you like the spontaneous stuff, huh?
Right.
Well, I can't come up with 30 more minutes of spontaneity, so I'm afraid I have to go back to my scripted speech,
30 minutes of boredom.
Which resumes. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll pick up the pace. I'll liven it up. Someone close that door back there. I hate competing with a thrash band. Do you, like, you know, any song can be a any warning can be a thrash song. Like
Bust the area?
no, you don't have to do that. Just free up your mind, man. Any warning can be a thrash song, like
Frost like that green, not in between.
or
Sergeant General's warning. Smoking may produce hazards to your health.
you know. So I think thrash is kind of limited. I mean, can you imagine something like Tommy done in thrash? You're like,
My name is Tommy, and I became a this year. Smash the mirror, smash the mirror. Listen to me, listen to me.
you know, 30 seconds.
Hey, you
So,
did that good. Do that again.
thanks. Remission of Burma, done like Michael Bolton. I'm on the edge of Burma. I'm on the edge of Burma. Who's that guy who goes, I've never been in love. Who's this guy anyway? I mean,
Spike Jones.
Spike Jones. Okay, so like let's see. When whippoorwills call and evening does fall, I'll take you to my blue heaven, heaven, heaven. Yeah. Spike Jones can make any song sound funny, you know, like, oh, say, can you see whoopee by the stars early light? Yeah, the guy was just great. I love Spike Jones. And Spike Lee. You know, women who pretend to like football are like rednecks who pretend to like Spike Lee. Don't you think, or don't you? So anyway, yeah, I went to my high school reunion, and I went to see where I had carved my initials years ago. but the headmaster was wearing a toupee.
Yeehaw, that's a really mean supper.
Well, thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Saturday, except I don't believe in God. So I say, thank sucking black hole, it's Friday. You know, it's like,
That's too loud.
oh, okay, sorry. Didn't mean to deafen you.
Let's see some physical comedy.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll do the rest of my set on a hot, burning bed of coals. Would you like that?
Yes.
Well, it might burn the stage. How about
All
a
right.
bed of nails?
I'll do my patented Southern preacher bit, okay? I've got little names for all these things.
Now you're going off camera now.
I don't care.
Get back on the camera.
I want you to Jesus
Getting better.
into your life. I want you to invite Jesus to your woo-woo life. Jesus came back to earth and he turned a water closet into a wine cellar. He turned the white water scandal into the white wine scandal. He turned a wino into a teetotaler. Ooh.
Francis, let's see you try to drink that entire pitcher of water.
I refuse to degrade myself to amuse you, but I will put my fist in my mouth for a nickel.
All right.
That reminds me of something. I'm not a bum, but if I find a bum who spits like a quarter, I'll kick his ass. I'm telling you right now. Now, you know, Christopher's going to China, our Secretary of State is going to China. He's going to talk to them. You know, become like us capitalists. Listen to me.
If 1 billion Chinese drove cars,
We'd be out of gas in 30 years, so
Do you know that
forget,
you're filming the drum monitor as you speak there?
Not to mention oxygen.
forget
You gotta move over, get in the camera.
What? What's
Just
wrong?
a film of the drum monitor. There you go,
What?
now you're in the film.
Well, you fucked up the focus.
I didn't do the focus. You want me to work the camera?
no, I don't want you to win.
Francis, he's trying to help you.
I don't
We're
need
all
your
trying
help.
to help you.
I don't want your help. I don't need your help. I need Jesus.
You're not in the picture there either.
I need Jesus.
All right, now you're in the picture.
All right,
Now that's good.
I will continue my set from a seated position.
All right,
Since
move over
obviously-
this way a little bit. Get in the center. Come this way. All right, right there.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Squat down a little more. Your head's getting kind of cut. There, you're right in the center now.
If you laid all the pedestrians in Boston from end to end, I'd probably run over them too. Okay? They're always talking about passive smoking. What about your fucking passive car exhaust, you maniacs? Don't get on my case. All right? You know, something's occurred to me. Shouldn't Merit cigarettes be cheaper at a Merit gas station? Also, if you walk down the streets of Newport smoking a Newport, shouldn't you be arrested for arson?
Oh, meritocracy cigarettes.
Right. He's like, my parents gave me a Merit Award, a carton of Merit, sir. I'll tell you what, I got a riddle for you. Why do potheads go to prison? I forget. Marshmallow!
Washing the area. Can I wash your table there for you, sir?
No, no thanks. This episode of The Wrong Hero is brought to you by Vise Out. Gets the red in, so your friends won't think you're a narc. Vise Out. And by Gourmet Coffee. Miss the thrill of illicit drugs? Want to fondle paraphernalia? Drink Gourmet Coffee. Someone said I'm schizophrenic. Hey, I'm getting to the madman material now, okay?
Well, I gotta do something.
What do you gotta do? Pull up your zipper? What?
We'll be back in about 10 minutes. I gotta get
Oh,
some
10 minutes? What is this shit? Stay here for 10 minutes, then leave. What's wrong with you guys?
I'm hungry. I'm dying of hunger.
You're hungry.
hungry. You put your foolish earth needs before mine.
That's your problem. Sit down for just 10 more minutes, and then you can, like, go and grab a bite.
One more minute.
Come on, okay, I'll run through all the mad stuff, okay? Like, somebody said...
I'll stay to pour that water, he'll pour water all over yourself.
You still bleeding off the side there? Hey, it rolls right off of him.
It rolls out. It is.
Unlike Donald Duck, got wet feet and don't give a fuck. And if it rains, I'll walk home.
Now I'm wet. Anyway, somebody said I'm schizophrenic, and I said, I'm of two minds about that. I said, it takes two to know one. I sleep with a different woman every night. Actually, she's the same woman with a multiple personality disorder. You know, I say, if you can afford to spend $100 an hour to get psychoanalysis, then your problems probably aren't all that severe. Now, do animals pay other animals $100 an hour to lick their wounds? No. So, let's be like the animals, okay? I like to run my house to suit my cat. I like to put a catnip mouse in the baby's crib. That way, after Kitty is done sucking the breath out of baby, he can have a little nosh. Don't you hate it when your dog drinks out of the toilet and the lid falls on his head? Don't you just hate it when that happens? It happens to me all the time. Of course, sometimes I give it a little push, you know.
You don't even have a dog.
Yes, I do. It's not my dog, it's my girlfriend's dog. It's my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend's dog, you know. So I like to say stuff like, thank God you're not a kid, you know. Because you could have easily been. You know, here's my advice to you. Your girlfriend wants to have a baby, buy her a fucking puppy, you know? Because you can throw a pup in the dog pound and, you know, say it got lost, but you can't really do that with a kid now, can you? So, I just bought a canary, and they say a canary brightens the home. You know something? I'll take the fucking money any day, okay? Who needs a goddamn canary? By the way, I have an important message for you. The wrong hero does not test his products on animals. He tests them on human beings. Did it ever occur to you that in the 90s, the phrase, it will create new jobs is sort of like the phrase, I was only following orders in Nazi Germany? You know, it will create new jobs. Drug addiction, it will create new jobs. Gambling, it will create new jobs. Indians living in tribal squalor with horrible alcoholic hangovers who are running roulette wheels and like shooting you with arrows every time you win. It will create new jobs. You know, so I don't go much for that. And what do you do for a living?
Me?
Yes, you. How do you make your money? I know you don't make any money out of this place, Christ. Last person to do that was in 1971, and that was before this place was here.
What do I do for a living?
Mm-hmm.
I make other people louder.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's a very good answer.
That's a very good answer.
I just did my laundry. My laundry is like my sex life. Happens twice a year, weighs 200 pounds, takes 12 hours, costs $10. Okay?
That's not a bad per pound price.
No, it's not. It's not a bad per pound joke either. Especially the way I per pound it. So, you know, I love basketball.
You 4-pounder.
I love basketball, and I would like nothing better than to bring a basketball to work, except the last time I tried that I got fired because I work in a funeral home. And it was like, dearly departed. He has very many sterling qualities. Will you quit bouncing that ball? You know, sorry, I was too busy embalming the other guy, you know, in between bouncing the ball. I'd like to find a full-time job, except employers, for some bizarre reason, refuse to scrape the bottom of the labor barrel. So I'm still waiting. You know, my office is automated, so now I can make mistakes at the speed of light. I still do the work of 3, however, but that's okay because I also take 3 lunch breaks. In fact, I like to take a 2-minute break every 5 minutes or so. And I'm famous, of course, for my 16-hour breaks. I work on the weekends, as if you haven't noticed. That's because I don't need a set time to act spontaneous, if you get my drift. People say I'm my own worst enemy. Maybe that's because I plan to spend my spring vacation at a sawmill in Siberia run by North Koreans. You know, it's like three meals of kimchi a day. You're like, yeah, we'll run this turbine on fart power. Yes, that's right. Along with those coffee and cigar enemas. Well, you know what babies are saying when they're crying? They might be saying, I'm hungry, or they might be saying, I'm wet. But 9 times out of 10, what they're really saying is,
stop having fun! Look at my screaming face! Wah!
You know, you can see my tonsils if you look hard enough. The Pope says that drug addiction is grounds for divorce. I say marriage is grounds for drug addiction. It's a franchise, okay? Someone wanted to move in my apartment, and they asked me if I had a working fireplace, and I said, no, but the guy who used to live here smoked a lot. And he said, well, my, that's an attractive shade of yellow that your kitchen's been painted. And I said, no, the guy who used to live here smoked a lot. That's what I'm saying. I'm against Walt Disney, and here's why. Do you know what Mickey Mouse really stands for? MIC, Military Industrial Complex. KEY, Keynesian Economic Yoke. MOUSC, more of United States engulfment. The Disney people won't be satisfied until the planet Earth is renamed Disney World. Now you can get married at Disney World. Can you see this? The preacher's goofy. Do you take this woman? So I'd like to get married at Disney World. I think it would be fun. But actually, I don't get to see much Disney stuff because I don't get the Disney Channel. In fact, I don't even watch television because it is my belief that television is tobacco for the eyes. So, and I'm trying to cut down. Like, one time, a man came into a hotel and said, one time a woman came into a hotel and said, where's my husband? And the clerk tells her, well, he's in room 553. So the woman goes into the hotel room and there's her husband, a fucking midget woman. And she says to him, I thought you were gonna cut that shit out. And he doesn't stop what he's doing, he just turns to her and he says, hey baby, can't you see I'm trying to cut down? Just had to throw that in. Now here's something. People are fascinated by sports. But did it ever occur to you that a lot of sports figures are highly overrated? The thing is, the same was true with Greek mythology. A lot of Greek mythological figures are also probably highly overrated. Like, I had Mercury come into the barber shop the other day. He didn't want a haircut, he just wanted me to trim those little feathers down by his heels, you know? Fucking Zeus, what a lousy tipper. But if you complain, zap, right in the head, you know? One of them lightning bolts, burns all your eyebrows off. Man, I tell you, just won't do. And now I'd like to talk about an important part of American tradition. George Washington, patriot, anti-tax activist, tobacco farmer. The Jesse Helms of his day. You know, and, well, here's the thing. They say that Washington never told a lie. How did he get laid? Huh? You know he got laid, though, because he was the father of our country. Wow. And all those plaques, Washington slept here, you know. He wasn't just sleeping. I actually saw a plaque that said, Washington didn't sleep here, he just said he did to be nice. I put up a plaque in my apartment. Washington tried to sleep here, but he didn't get a wink of sleep because I was up like a hawk all night watching that powder-wigged, buckle shoe-wearing rascal so he didn't steal my silverware to pay off the Continental Army. Hey, have you seen a picture of Nixon lately?
No.
No? You know what he looks like now? Cesar Romero in his role as the Joker on the old Batman show. Swear to God, kids, swear to God. Okay, I have 2 rules of comedy to share with you before I'm due to make my long-awaited departure. One of them is, let them see you sweat. And the other one is, litter the stage with prop gags. I used to be able to do that really easy, you know. Hey, Governor, tickle your ass with a feather? You know what my favorite pickup line is? I like to leave vomit on the bar in lieu of a tip. Especially, you know, when you go to funeral homes and stuff like that.
Does that work?
No, but I'll tell you what does work. It's like, I grew up in an Italian neighborhood, and one of my favorite pickup lines was, hey baby, what's your fucking sign, huh? Like, I think that you and me was together in a past life. And you know something? I think you owed me money. But I couldn't break your legs to collect because you was a dame, see? So, fork it over now. You ever read Maclean's magazine? It's sort of like the Canadian version of Time or Newsweek. It's a very well-written, literate magazine. In fact, the Canadians are 100% literate. But what do they have to write home about? Dear Mom, it snowed. Love, Pierre. You know, it's like a working vocabulary of 6 words, you know, so, I mean, what can you say? My roommate was the Human Torch, and he used to say, is it hot in here, or is it just me? And I'd say, it's you, Johnny, it's you. Well, time to wind down. Never in the field of human conflict have so many done so much for so few. So let's kill them before they come around here trying to collect. Actually, I got 7 minutes left. So I'll just do my last 7 minutes. Be out of here. Hey, Mike. Perk up. Come alive.
Oh, yeah.
You're in the Pepsi generation.
I'm going to join the Coffee Achievers.
I'm going to join the Crack Achievers. Because this is comedy in its cheap, smokable form. And now I'm a crossing impression of Butler on the old Wacky Racist show. Another country heard from. And now I'd like to sing a traditional New Orleans song. That's all I got right now, sorry. I'll remember the rest of it later. I'm the wrong hero, and I say, what goes around comes around. Unless you duck, and it hits the other feller smack in the puss. That's what I call fun. I was sad because I had no shoes. Then I met a man with no feet. So I let him walk all over me. And that's called affirmative action. And I was still sad because I had no shoes. And then I met another man who had no feet. So I kicked him good. And he said, excuse me. And that is called a return to family values. You know, Einstein wasn't so smart. If he was smart, maybe he wouldn't walk around looking like he stuck his dick in a light socket, huh? Huh? I'm telling you, huh? Like I walk up to Einstein. E equals MC squared? What the fuck is that? That's not even a complete sentence. What's the subject? Where's the predicate? Huh? Huh? Equals. Oh. Okay. Great. Well, here's my advice to you. An apple cleans your teeth. So does a hand grenade.
That was a good time.
Oh, I see, I should slow it down. A carrot improves your vision at night. So does a hand grenade. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. What kind of fruit keeps the policeman away? Once they get that licked, I'm in business, okay? And now this word for Malcolm X-ray specs. Malcolm X-ray specs enable you to see enemies everywhere.
I like that one.
You like that one? You should, since you helped me write it. You know, when I was a boy growing up, I had a special God whistle. Only he could hear. You know, when I was a little kid, I wanted to have a pet, but my daddy was a preacher, and so instead he gave me my very own pet God. Well, one day my God got old and feeble, so I had to talk to my daddy, and he said, well, a man's got to do what a man's got to do. You wouldn't want to let your faithful friend down now. So I took that old God of mine back out to the back 40, and he looked at me with them big blue eyes of his'n, and he knowed that I knowed that he knowed that I knowed what I was going to do. Well, I came back after having killed my God, and my daddy said to me, son, you can't teach an old God new tricks now, can you? I want to see the world through the eyes of the Indians. Every time I see a dog, I want to think lunch. And I'd like to go down south for my vacation. You know, Southerners, chicken chokers, our one-eyed cousins, people who hate Yankees so much they won't listen to a word they say. Mister, your head's on fire.
Don't tell me my business.
You ever notice how when Southerners are mad at you, they always talk like they're taking a shit?
What you doing around here anyway, boy? We don't like your kind around here coming up and stirring up trouble.
Now it really is time for me to go. But before I do, I'm going to solve all the world's troubles in 8 seconds. Do you have any trouble spots that you might suggest?
Well, the opera, is that still a trouble spot?
Well, not anymore since everybody there starved to death.
Well, that's good. Bosnia.
Well, if they manufactured oil instead of Yugos, we'd be in there like that.
How about Afghanistan?
Well, if these fucking mujahideen didn't wear fucking snot rags on their heads, maybe then we'd go down there and help them. Oh, we did help them. Well.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh, see, we already solved that one. What's that? China? Well, instead of selling them opium, let's just sell them tobacco, and then there'll be 1 million of them in about 20 years instead of 1 billion, okay? Well, I am tired from solving your puny Earth crises, and now I must leave you. But before I do, I must express this thought to you to conclude my presentation of Send Money. You are beginning to annoy me. You make me nervous because you're evil. Evil.
He's asleep. You can't wake him up.
Evil.
We're again.